Hi there, it's Kathleen here again and thank you for joining me. Today I have a really fun layout to share with you. Here you can see the supplies that I pulled together and the Spellbinders dies, so it's this mum flower and succulent die or the other way around, and these Spellbinders platinum packs were sent to me by Spellbinders and I could make whatever I want with them. So I decided to make this layout and I really love the dies. They fit perfectly for me, and you might know that I'm a bit of a crazy plant lady, so yeah, I was really excited to get these. So I also picked out some paper scraps that you can see on the left there, and this is also one of those what I call use your scraps layouts, and you might know that I also have a class over at Big Picture Classes that is called Use Your Scraps, and I will leave you a link below if you're interested. So I decided to only use scraps to make this layout, and you can see here that I'm cutting the different layers of my succulent. So I picked several green papers, going from darkest to lightest, so from the biggest to the smallest piece I'm going from darkest to lightest, and building my succulent. And I also picked some embellishments from the Crate Paper Wild at Heart collection. And here you can see how you can make those pieces more dimensional. This also works if you have, for example, flower die cuts, so either take something like a pencil to roll the piece or use your fingernails to curl them up, and that way you can get a really nice dimensional look. So I also already picked out, as I said, some embellishments and sticker sheets and things that I thought would go well with the theme and the look of the layout that I was going for. And this is a photo that was taken on one of our most recent trips to, again, the Costa Brava in Spain. So the plant theme fit really well. And yeah, now I'm just trying to build kind of a cluster around my photo. I really like this postcard die cut, so I definitely wanted to use this and make it look as if, you know, I was sending a postcard from this place. And then I also have these really cool palm leaf die cuts. I have some paper and some vellum, and they are from Crate Paper Wild Heart collection. So I mixed Wild Heart and the here and there. And yeah, I also have this cork sheet. This was in one of the platinum packs from Spellbinders, and I love the look of this cork together with the rich green color and this kind of copper or rose gold. So I thought I would make it look somehow like a pin board, to which I would pin this postcard. And then just have these leaves and some other things peeking out from behind, which of course doesn't really make sense. You wouldn't have this behind your pinboard, but you know, I just liked the look of it to give it some more color. And here I thought, what could I do to make it look more like a real pinboard? And one of these platinum packs, the one that also has the cork sheet, also has the balsa wood. So I wanted to cut some strips that I could add as my frame. So here's a tip for you. Don't use scissors. I tried it with scissors first. The balsa wood cuts really easily, but with scissors you don't get nice straight edges because the wood kind of breaks, which makes sense, and I could have thought of that myself, but anyway. And here you can see, so here I'm using an X-Acto knife, and this works much better. It cuts like butter, and it's really easy to have really nice clean edges if you cut the balsa wood with a knife. So yeah, I think I made them like ½ an inch or something like that. So I cut down 4 strips of the balsa wood that would be about ½ an inch wide, and now I'm cutting down the edges. I'm using my cutting mat here to cut them at 45 degrees so that I would have the same angle on all of the pieces. I hope that makes sense, but I think you can see what I'm doing here. And now I'm just using those pieces to measure my cork board, because I had to cut down the cork sheet, of course, as it was too big to fit inside the frame that I made. So I will end up with like a 5x5 sheet of corkboard, more or less. And now I'm putting everything back together and trying to figure out if it works. And because I really wanted to have this corkboard look, I dug through my stash to find some brads that I could use to attach my postcard to, you know, have it like a pin, because of course a regular pin wouldn't work on this page because it would peek out on the backside. And I also wanted to be able to slide this postcard to one side, so I could add some hidden journaling underneath the postcard. So yeah, now I'm just putting everything back together. And I also have this kind of luggage tag die cut piece to the right of my layout, and I will add that as well with a brad in a second. And yeah. And I thought this just added a really nice look and made, you know, because normally you don't have just one piece on your pinboard. So now I'm making life really difficult for myself. So this cork sheet is self-adhesive. What I'm doing here is I'm using my powder tool that you would use for embossing, for example, to make the edges of my corkboard non-sticky, so that it wouldn't adhere right to my page, because I wanted to be able to, you know, have all of those die cuts, the leaves and everything, peek out from underneath my corkboard. But yeah, you can see here, I'm making it really, really difficult for myself. And when I was done with my layout, I took our dog for a walk. And on the walk, I was like, why didn't you just adhere the cork to another piece of paper, cut it out, and treat it as like a piece itself that isn't sticky anymore? So yeah, I didn't think of that while I was doing it. So you could make life much easier for yourself if you just stick the cork to another sheet of paper, cut it out, and then you can move it around on your page without having to stick it down right away. Yeah, it did cost me some nerves, but you know, you live and learn. And that way I can tell you what better way there is to do it. So you can see I added some more leaves. I have these kind of gold holographic stickers, also from the Wild Heart collection, and some other bits and pieces. And I have this sticker here that said "Sending love from," but it was too small, but I really liked the sentiment, so I added the "Sending love from" above my pinboard with some white thickers, mini thickers from Paige Evans. I don't know, I can't remember the name of the collection, but yeah. And here I'm just playing around with the placement of everything. And here I have my title ready. It says "Sending Love from Paradise," and I'm really happy with the title because it's, you know, it's something different than what I usually do, just like summer, paradise, happy vibes, whatever. So yeah. And here I wanted to have the love stand out a bit more, and also add more of that mustard yellow that I have in the brad. So I just took an ink blending tool and some yellow ink, stamp ink, and yeah, kind of rubbed it onto this white, these white thickers. And I know that the Paradise or the corkboard looks a bit, the pinboard looks a bit wonky on the lower right side, but I think that's just because of the camera angle and because of this little tag that makes it look a bit weird, but it's straight. So yeah, now I'm just adding in more bits and pieces. I found this mustard yellow epoxy heart in one of the Pinfresh Studio collections. I think it's still at your heart decide. And I really like that because it also brought in the color again. And you can see that I didn't adhere, the postcard element is still slidable. So now I grabbed this paper strip that also has this mustard yellow, and I wanted to adhere it to the bottom of my page and then rip off part of the white cardstock. But then I decided maybe I just want to have it peek out like this. You can see here I'm seeing what I like better, and I'm thinking, yeah, I definitely like this better because I think it would be too much to have it on the whole bottom of the page. So I just cut another part of it off again and will add this to the top of my layout. So normally when I just have something like this peeking out from beneath the layout, I wouldn't add this whole paper strip like I did at the bottom of my page, but that's just because I changed my mind in that second. So yeah, normally I wouldn't waste the paper like this. And I'm just adding some Nouveau drops in, I think, Morning Dew it's called. That's the one that dries clear. And yeah, I really like it. So off camera I will add my journaling behind the postcard and some paint splatters, and yeah, that's it. Here you can see all of the dimension. I'm really happy with how it turned out, as I said, and here are some close-ups. And you can find all of the supplies listed in the description box below and also in my blog post. Now, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye!